dudes, I'm Hilah, and today on Hilah Cooking, I'm going to show you how to make a classic fruit tart. I had a request on Twitter for a summer berry tart with like a pastry cream filling, so we're going to make a delicious creamy pastry cream, $240 worth of pudding. Who's with me? Anybody else get that? Nope. Okay. First part of making our pastry cream requires that we separate 3 eggs, so I'm going to do that real quick. We want the egg yolks. No egg whites left behind, but in this case all the egg whites are left behind. So you can make them into an omelet or just add them to your scrambled eggs. There's lots of things you can do. Okay, so this basically is like making a pudding, but with a pastry cream you want it to be a lot stiffer. You want a really stiff cream, because when we cut into our tart, we're gonna, put this in a tart shell. We don't want it to like goosh everywhere. So like a pudding would do that. So instead of using cornstarch to thicken it, we're gonna use flour, and flour is gonna make a much more stable and firm setting cream. So that's really the big difference between pudding and pastry cream. And you can use this pastry cream to fill like, whoops, you didn't see that? Oh, son of a bitch. I got distracted. No problem though, look at that. I am a wizard. I'm a magical egg wizard. Okay. And then we just want to whisk these up with our sugar and salt until it's smooth. And then I've got our flour. And it's going to be real thick. And it's best if your egg whites are at room temperature. That's going to make the tempering a lot easier. So tempering is when you sort of gradually change the temperature of the eggs so that they sort of begin to cook without curdling, and then you don't end up with like scrambled egg chunks. So how we're gonna do that is I've got here, just over like a medium-low heat, I had some half and half heating up to a simmer, and it just did that. So I'm just gonna add in about a half a cup hot half and half. And if you don't get half and half where you are, I mean, half and half is really just half milk and half cream, so you could just mix equal parts milk and cream too. Okay, so with one hand sort of whisking, drizzle this in slowly and whisk. Ta-da! Okay, good deal. Make sure you get every little bit of everything. Okay, so now we're gonna pour this warmed up egg mixture back into this pot. All right, let's see. So I'm gonna put this back onto a low heat this time. Whiskey whiskey is the name of the game. It's really pretty boring. Not much going on here. Now we're just gonna stand here for about an hour. Just kidding, but it is gonna be like 6 or 8 minutes. So we just wanna keep whisking. It will slowly start to thicken, and then it will get like real thick. Okay, so after about 6 minutes, you can see how thick this has gotten. When I drag my whisk through it, it like actually leaves a trail there. So at this point, we're gonna turn the heat up to medium. Just cook it for another minute or so, whisking the whole time. It's just gonna make sure that that flour gets cooked so you don't end up with like a raw flour taste. Like if you're using cornstarch, you don't really have to worry about that raw flavor cooking out, but with flour, you definitely wanna consider that. Okay, this is great. So I don't know if you could tell that, but it has actually even gotten a little bit thicker. Turn it off. Perfect. Now I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of cold butter and just whisk those in until they are melted also. Fabulous. And then a little bit of vanilla extract. If you wanted to use like a different extract, I'm sure you totally could do that. Okay. Great, now I'm ready to transfer this into the bowl into which it will cool. If I were a professional pastry person, I would strain it through one of these things, or if you just ended up with like a bunch of lumps in your stuff, you could totally strain it also, but that just seems like another thing I have to wash. So I'm gonna skip that straining step. Feel free to do it on your own if you like. Beautiful and thick. That's what she said. And then I just got a little bit of plastic wrap here. I'm just gonna lay it down, get it sort of, scooch it down into the bowl so it's actually touching the surface of the cream. And that's gonna prevent any skin from forming. Perfectamundo. All right, now I'm just gonna put this in the fridge for at least 2 hours, but up to like a couple of days. In that time, you can go ahead and make your tart shell. I'm just gonna use the one that I already made with on that blueberry tart recipe we did a few months ago with Lovely Lady Cakes. So I'll link to that at the end too, but any kind of tart or pie crust will do fine, I assure you. So we're ready to assemble. I've got my cooked tart shell here. This one has a removable bottom, which is extremely helpful. So you do a little like this, and then you do a little Houdini, and then voila, ta-da. And I've got my pastry cream here. Sort of scoop it in. I've got a little layer of water here from condensation as it cooled. I'm just gonna try to not get that involved. Okay, I just wanna get all the way to the edges. Now I am using strawberries and blueberries, but this is really the kind of thing where you're gonna be way better off if you just use whatever is in season, but you decorate it in the way that matches your personality and everyone's gonna love it, as long as you don't have a terrible personality. And then I'm gonna just fill in my little empty spots with some blueberries. Oh my gosh, this is like, oh, I should have been doing this for 4th of July. God, look at that, because it's like the US flag. Okay, there we go. There's a beautiful fruit tart. What do you think of that? I think it looks pretty dang delightful. So let's see if I can do this without just mangling the whole thing and making it look horrible. Just gonna cut one little piece for myself here. Not too shabby. Look at that. See, our pastry cream is really nice and solid. It's not like dripping out all over our hands and making a big gushy mess. Let's give her a taste. So ladylike. I just feel like I should be in a little English tea shop having some tea, gabbing about Downton Abbey or whatever. Okay, great. Well, there we go. There's how to make a fruit tart with a pastry cream. You can put whatever kind of fruit in it you want. But I did this because I love America. Okay, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment below and I'll get to it as soon as I can. As always, the recipes can be found at hilahcooking.com also. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. We're gonna make a fruit tart. I had a request for a summer berry tart with pastry cream on the internet, and that's what I'm gonna make for you.